Coworker tried to steal, almost got away with it till she pissed me off. I work at a veterinary clinic and as you may assume it gets very busy. I typically have the role as a veterinary nurse but help my coworkers when I can. I was helping clients at our front desk because it was slammed and there was only one receptionist. I want to ask you friend, subscribe to my channel, it's very important to me. A coworker stormed up front, got real rude with me and said she needed help in the treatment area. Cool, I will absolutely help, but I wanted to finish my task and I certainly don't appreciate the attitude about helping someone else. So I snapped back and we bitched at each other for a minute. Fast forward to the evening, this same coworker who had no right to be a dick earlier had also used flea medications for her cat that was in today. She didn't put it on her invoice and specifically said anything that costs money she didn't want to get today. So she planned on just not paying for it. I didn't honestly care too much because it's inexpensive and the cat needed the meds, so I ignored it. Well, because she decided to be an asshole, I asked our receptionist if that medication got put on the invoice, knowing the answer was going to be no. Amazingly enough, it wasn't on there when they looked, so of course the doctor puts in on the invoice and they try to charge the card on file. It paid for a whole 4 cents and we were all there watching her card decline on the computer screen. The receptionist calls coworker and she says she doesn't have the money to pay for it. If she doesn't pay it, it will now go into collections. If my office manager catches wind she had no intentions of paying for it, she very well could get written up or fired. My manager and I are having a meeting on Monday and it just may come out that she had no intentions of paying for it. This same person stealing from the company is supposed to be a shift lead and then interim manager when my manager goes on maternity leave. This, friends, is why you don't treat your coworkers like shit. I am thrilled at the petty slip-up of her attempting to steal from the workplace. I used to be a vet tech. We had an office manager that was like this. We're technically not supposed to bring our personal pets in unless they were coming in for services. If we knew it was going to be a slow day, sometimes we would bring them in, but it was rare. On busy-ish days she brought her dog in. At one point a coworker and I walked past her and saw her implanting a microchip into her pup. We confirmed it was one of ours by me sneaking in and checking her trash while coworker kept her busy. We looked up her info and she had already registered her pup with her new number, but there was nothing on her invoice. We absolutely told the vet on her. Vet ripped into her and forced her to pay. Also forced her to pay an office visit as well as the microchip, no employee discount allowed. She was kept on a very tight leash after that until she eventually quit. What the hell? We breed parrots and microchip our own birds when needed. It's very inexpensive. I can't imagine risking my job over something like that. A few decades ago, a company I worked for was still in startup mode. It had cans of soda in the fridge, available for free. One guy, a well-paid electrical engineer, grabbed a box, loaded it full with soda cans and took them home. They were free after all. He lost his job over it. The company went public a few years later. How stupid can you be? There's always someone who ruins it for everyone. It was only ruined for everyone if they stopped offering the drinks afterwards. Otherwise he only ruined it for himself, as it should be. Same thing happened at Compaq in the late 90s. Sodas were free, so people were coming in on Saturday morning and filling coolers with sodas from the machines. Caught on camera and prices were added to the machines of 0.35 cents. That slowed people down a bit, they were cheaper at Sam's Club at that point. OMG, was this a startup during the dot-com boom? And did the engineers have stock options? If so, he paid a lot for those free sodas. It was in the late 90s, yes. And, yes, plenty of stock options. Yeah, we didn't get it either. It was like $15 for the microchip without our discount and it included a lifetime registration. Before that we strongly suspected her of stealing other stuff, but we could never prove it was her. What's even sadder is our vet was amazing. She knew how much we all loved our animals and how much we spent on our babies without complaint. For a lot of things she would further discount services down to the point where the clinic technically lost money. If we were financially strapped she would work with us to work out a payment plan. Morals and ethics aside, there was absolutely no reason for her to steal from us other than her being a klepto. Most PPL who steal usually can afford whatever they're taking. But they don't feel like they should be paying. It's an entitlement issue. That's true of some people, sure, but certainly not most. Okay, most people with a decent job who steal from their employer can afford it. As a very poor person who sometimes has to steal to make ends meet, this 100%. When I have the money I have absolutely no issue with paying, but since I often don't the money I am forced to do what I have to. 10-ish years ago, we had a dog spayed. Routine procedure and not the first time we had gone through the process at that vet, but this time no pain meds for home, just a prescription to fill, locally fortunately. The clinic had a problem with disappearing meds. Well, they resolved it. Later they claimed to know who it was but couldn't prove it. They decided to outsource all medication with any street value at all. They weren't shy about it either. The vet handed me the prescription and told me why they weren't filling it. At the time I was stunned they didn't handle it in-house, new locks, security camera, whatever, but whatever. I don't think they ever caught anyone officially but motivated them to quit instead. The next time I went in there were a few replaced people. I always wondered if it was one or even all of them. My former vet did this too. His reasoning was they were tired of addicts breaking in attempting to break in as it was expensive to keep repairing things, insurance going up. They'd still fill antibiotics and other stuff, just not pain meds etc. I definitely understand why he did that. He was amazing and extremely caring. I moved away, which sucks because he was so good. What is this inexpensive flea med that you speak of? Because my Bravecto and Revolution are fucking expensive. Wondering this myself. Flea stuff is expensive. It was Capstar, which only kills live fleas on the pet. It doesn't really prevent anything like Bravecto or Revolution would. The Capstar is OTC and only kills for like a day. It's more, I just got a rescue dog and he's covered in fleas. I've used it before for cat rescues. Are you guys from the States? I pay $10 for 2 months of flea med in Germany. That shit is not expensive. I am not in the US and that stuff is still expensive. It's about $40 United States dollars here. This whole story is fucked. What kind of place do you work at where the person they are planning on leaving in charge has no people skills and 4 cents in the bank? Sounds like she has no management skills at all, yet she's the person they want to lead their crew. I wouldn't turn her in, but I'd absolutely let her know I know. That should end her attitude problem, at least long enough for me to find a new job. Sio, these kind of people will make you look like a thief if they can, to take the heat off of themselves. I know of this from personal experience. Oh, she also talks about her drug benders, vapes in the exam rooms, talks terrible about most people including her own kids. Said her 4-year-old was going to grow up to be a womanizer like his dad. Honestly, the more I type this, the more surprised I am I actually previously got along with her. Can I get some love from the sub for this one? Hi guys, I'm a teacher and times are tough for us. I'm going to keep specifics out, but I would really appreciate some love if possible. It's been a rough week. A few years ago, my teaching department, 4 including me, kind of ganged up on me. Decided I didn't fit into their friend group or whatever and started talking crap and wetting it. I work in a high school so I was used to this, but it usually came from the kids. Not going to act like I wasn't hurt because I was. I thought of these people as friends and they were being petty and rude. Many comments were made about how I was a bad teacher, etc., but after being mad, I tried to move on and consider them coworkers instead of friends. About a year ago, the state announced a new incentive for teachers. If you achieved this ranking from the state, you got a monetary bonus for the next few years and could obviously add the title to your resume. I decided then and there to work my ass off to get the title. I wanted to prove to my department that I was a good teacher. Obviously I had money and achievement to gain too, but I really wanted to be the only teacher in my department to get it so they couldn't argue with it. So I worked. I put in the hours and I did everything required. We all worked for it. It's a lot of stuff to do, but I had a childish part that wanted to do it better. Anyway, the rankings came out today. I scored highest in my department and only one other one got the bonus. The 2 that ran their mouths the most about me? They got nothing. Obviously they are now pissed and saying that the system is screwed up and yada yada yada. I know it's not so much revenge maybe. But I did it. And they didn't. Today, I won. I hope you all get your win too. Edit. Wow, I've never got an award before. Thank you all for the love. It's crazy how sometimes you feel more love from strangers than from those closer to you. You guys have made a rough week and few years a lot better. As a former HS teacher who got bullied in her first years of teaching by veteran teachers who walked out the door faster than the students when the last bell rang, I applaud you. Well done for not only outclassing them but also snagging yourself some extra money in the process. Also, Saya and notate everything. At some point, they're going to try and set you up to take a fall now that you rose to the top. If you're in a place where recording others is legal, always record meetings with just them and you. If anyone on your admin team is good, make sure they are aware. Then just keep being awesome for your students and their parents. They'll be your best defense. Former HS teacher here. As I mentioned above, teachers can be the most self-righteous assholes you'll ever meet. I joke that you can pick out the assholes when they stomp around and complain about being behind in lessons after a snow day, haha. The best revenge is them stewing in their own mediocrity. Congrats on being recognized. Next step. Get a job somewhere else so you don't have to deal with their bullshit. Working on it. I'd love to leave at the top and let admin know exactly why. Dumped me but stayed signed into your Netflix, did you? So my GF dumped me a few years back after cheating and I'm completely over it anyway, like I said, I'm over it, so I thought that now was the best time to carry out my revenge. Because I'm over it. So I noticed that she left her Netflix logged in on my laptop and Google has remembered the password. I have had my own since, but it always asks which account I'm going to log into and pre-populates her password etc. So about last month I just logged into it, I don't know why, but just was kind of half interested in what she had been watching. I saw that she had been watching Breaking Bad and was on S2E3 and just logged out and didn't think much of it. Until 3 a.m. I woke up and had devised the most devious plan. I logged back into her account and just started letting it play right from where she had left off. Left it a couple of hours then turned it off. So next time she logged in it would have skipped a few episodes and the point as to where she was. I then started putting shows on I know she doesn't like so it comes up on her recommended and really fucks up the algorithm. I just can't wait till she starts getting suggestions based on shows she doesn't like. It would be a real shame if her and her new BF fell out and started accusing the other of watching BB when the other wasn't there, wouldn't it? Anyway, I'm over it and not bitter anyway, so all good. Hope all goes well for her when she accuses her BF of watching Paw Patrol. Muthifker. Update. To anyone saying I'm not over it. You are right. It is written in a sarcastic manner to emphasize the pettiness, which I don't think many of you picked up on. I think this guy's over it. Op is living in a sarcasm. He ain't over it. Implied, per second. Saw what you did there. Very finely nuanced. A deep sarcasm. I mean he said he's over it. Obviously he wouldn't say it unless he was over it. He's so over it he is even thinking of a hypothetical new BF she has and how they may break up. He's completely over her, you guys. So over it. Oh, this video has come to an end. If you want more such cool stories, then go to one of the many following videos.